Hello again. So today I wanted to go ahead and do my Infinity War review. So I had initially asked on it via Twitter poll whether I should do a non-spoiler review or a spoiler review, and then I had decided I was going to do both because the poll was tied. However, I have like little sticky notes of basically what I want to talk about, so I can remember everything because I saw the movie. Yeah, today's Wednesday, so I saw it about a week ago. So some stuff and it's a lot, so some stuff I forgot. So to do a actual spoiler review, I feel like I have to see it again. However, I'm not going to see it again, at least not for a while. It's a lot. And also I'm incredibly busy. I have just an hour of my day I can devote to this. Not even, because I should be doing other stuff, but I'm here. Excuse me, just ate lunch. Okay, sorry. So, I'm going to do a non-spoiler review, and I thought it would be a good idea, instead of doing a spoiler review, if I do a video about theories that I had going into the movie, ones that came out correct, ones that came out incorrect, because as I was looking through I have a thread on Twitter about the theories, a lot of them came true, so I thought it would be interesting to talk about that, and some of them didn't, because, you can't predict everything. So yeah, here is my non-spoiler review. So I would have to say that everyone's coming out being like, oh, this is a Marvel movie, blah, blah, blah. Personally, for me, no, because there's not, I don't know. I feel like at a level it's too painful to be my favorite one. Guardians of the Galaxy is still my favorite Marvel movie. Volume 1. But I think it's definitely top 5, so that's something to keep in mind. Also, if you haven't seen the previous 18 films, 1, why are you here? 2, it's going to be really hard to follow, and reviews coming out from professional critics are obviously tearing that apart because, it's a critic's job to do that. But still, we've had 18 movies of setup, and there's not a lot of setup, so from a movie standpoint, I can understand why people are like, oh, well, I'm confused, or blah, blah, blah. It's basically, I think, a gift from Marvel to their fans for sticking by for so long. I mean, I didn't get in 2008. I mean, I did go see Iron Man when it came out, but I stopped kind of caring until middle school, or my freshman year of high school, because I think I saw The Winter Soldier on plane, and then ended up going back and watching all of them from there, and The Winter Soldier is probably my second favorite. This movie, obviously, if you haven't been able to tell from everybody's reaction, is very emotional. For me, it was incredibly hard, because this is an incredibly hard time in general. But know that. Know your limits. I completely understand you, feeling the need to see this, because obviously, I did, but I knew how bad it was going to be going into it. So, just keep that in mind, and please take care of yourself. So, a bit about the characters. For me, obviously, the Guardians are my favorite characters. I thought they were excellent. So, I mean, it was very happy for me, because I got a lot of Guardians. I got a lot of Bruce Banner, which people are very mad about. So I guess that's kind of a spoiler, but yeah, Bruce Banner can't turn into the Hulk. So it's Bruce Banner the whole time, which I'm perfectly fine with, because I absolutely adore Bruce Banner. But he's not everybody's favorite character, because it's just this dweeby white guy, whatever. I thought the cast was pretty well. I mean, for the most part, People who stood out specifically actor-wise to me, honestly, I thought Robert Downey Jr. put on an amazing performance. I'm not a huge Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. fan, to be quite honest. I think Robert Downey Jr. as an actor is definitely growing on me a little bit more. But he gave a really good performance. Tom Holland, which everybody's talking about, basically those two. They're the most popular characters in the MCU. That's why. Tom Holland was really excellent too. Everybody's talking about how he improvised some of the scenes because obviously they can't give him scripts because they just can't trust him. But I thought he was pretty great too. And then I thought Zoe Saldana and Chris Pratt were great, but at the same time, Ella Sterling and Cora together. So that's probably that. But no, they had a lot of emotional moments that were really, really good, and I thought acted very well. Some kind of letdowns from the movie because there's a lot going on, so some things fell flat. I thought they really edited together the scenes well, like, because it would follow certain groups of people together, and I thought that was managed very well of how they separated the characters. However, some characters fell flat. I thought just the Black Order was completely underwhelming. I really enjoyed Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw was probably the best member of the Black Order. His CGI looked fine. He was clearly the most powerful, and I think he ended up having the most screen time out of all of them. Trying to think the other ones. Cull Obsidian was the big giant one they were trying to get the Hulk to fight. He looked fine, but he was a speechless character, so it was kind of hard to like really relate or be that intrigued by him. He just seemed kind of like a big mindless creature. I think they only have 4 in this. Yeah, Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight, though, looked not great. And that's disappointing to me. Their CGI didn't look good at all. They looked like they were right out of like a PlayStation 2 video game. Somebody said PlayStation 1. Maybe a little bit better than that. But I think they probably spent all their CGI budget elsewhere, because I mean they're CGIing the costumes now, and they obviously had to do Thanos, and they had to do a bit of the Hulk. It's just, I don't know if it's necessarily budget, because they clearly have the money to do whatever they want, or I think it might just be time, and that's not, they didn't want to focus on Corvus Glaive or Proxima Midnight, which was disappointing, because like comic-wise, those two are very interesting characters. And I also, aside from like CGI, I think they just dumbed them down. They seemed easily beatable by Steve Rogers' Black Widow and Falcon, which is kind of crazy because they're supposed to be incredibly powerful. Like the Corvus's glaive is supposed to what is it? The glaive? Oh, yeah. It's attached to him, so he can't die with it, and they easily kind of take it from him. And then Proxima Midnight's spear is supposed to get dramatically heavier. Like she can alter the weight and property of the spear, but then Black Widow just kind of takes it from her too. So it's just a little unrealistic to be. I mean, Sorry, my camera died there. So what I was saying is that, like, obviously this movie is not realistic, but I just thought that fell flat, and they should be a little bit more powerful, because, I mean, you know, they're supposed to be this, like, badass team called the Black Order. They should be pretty awesome. I mean, that technically, like, I was thinking about it, since that's what the children of Thanos are. That's technically where Nebula and Gamora either were in or were going. So I thought they could be a little bit better. What am I doing? On the lines of that, Thanos was a good villain. I didn't think he was the best villain. I mean, people were talking about, oh, at least he had these motivations, blah, blah, blah. To be quite honest, I'm not saying I want a bunch of mindless villains, because definitely I don't want, like, those mindless armies that were the big common trend. I mean, they were in the first Avengers movie, they're in Thor Ragnarok, they're in Justice League. It's just like, we get it. You have a mindless army. Well, I guess they kind of were in it with the Outriders. You know, but to be quite fair, though, it's a comic book film, and comic book characters themselves are kind of hokey. So having a villain who's just, well, I want to take over the world and I'm kind of crazy, it just makes sense to me in a comic book movie. I get they changed it. He's still a genocidal maniac, but I guess that's kind of the point. So he's not my favorite villain. I would still say that Loki is probably better, although Loki obviously had a redemption arc, so he's not really a villain anymore. So, and people just argue he's misunderstood, but that's kind of the point of the whole villain thing, having a good backstory, is that they're just misunderstood. But yeah, because there's other villains I liked that people think are very mindless, and I was like, oh, I never really thought about that, but I still like this character, so, you know, it's all about personal preference. There's a lot of stuff I didn't cover, probably. I mean, it's kind of hard. This movie is so long. It was so emotional. I was very distraught for obvious reason if you've seen the movie and you know my favorite characters. But that it was good. I probably will end up seeing it again. I don't know if I'll be able to see it before I see Deadpool 2. I want to see that first before I see Infinity War again. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming out in July, which I'm excited about. And we have a lot of comic book movies until Avengers 4, which it's fine. We're gonna make it. It will be okay. It's only been like a week, but we'll be fine. So yeah, I'm going to make a theory video about going in depth with theories that I had that I got correct, and ones that are different, and maybe if they could happen in Avengers 4, which I don't think so, because I put some very wacko theories that I got incorrect, and the ones I wrote down were mainly Avengers Infinity War, not Avengers 4. So yeah, I will see you in a bit.